So, round 4, I'm up against Luke and his Emperor's Children. Luke is a good mate of mine. We play at the same club. We play on the same team. Those who read the blog will see his name mentioned a couple of times on when we've done teams together. And as well, I've played him once in a tournament for a while back, and I won when I was on Emperor's Children, ironically, against his Harlequins. So Luke's list, a sort of Demon Prince list, but otherwise sort of standard Coterie shell. So we've got 3 Lord Exaltants, which hit incredibly hard. Lucius is Warlord. 3 Infractor squads to go with the Lord Exaltants. Couple of Tormentors for Sticky and Infiltrate. Rhino to help launch them out. Some Spawn, some Flawless Blade, some Mauler Fiends, there's trading pieces, and then the 2 Defilers equipped the same as mine to add some range threats. So conceptually, it's a very similar army to mine. It's an army that wants to trade, to use the Defilers to give it range threats, give it some anti-tank, and try and bait out little units with his Spawn and Blades and the like, and then hit them quite hard with Exaltants. So its hidden supplies, it favours the person that goes second, because living in the open in the middle objectives can be quite tough. The deployment was as such that they're a little bit more shielded than normal, so not quite as bad as it can be on some UK TC maps where they are very in the open, the 2 middle ones especially. But that said, they are still going to be quite close to each other and make score a little harder. So the advantage I've got over Luke, I've got 2 real advantages. One is, while the Emperor's Children Defilers are fantastic, the fact that mine can be lone op gives me a nice range advantage. And it was something I used throughout the matchup, just to be able to poke my Defilers out and take out the little chaff units without having to commit, and either use the angles along with the threat of lone opping them to ensure that Luke's Defilers couldn't get onto my Defilers, because if one Defiler sees the other, both Defilers have, either side's Defilers have a really good chance of killing the other. Defilers, for all the wonderful things to do, aren't that tough. The other sort of weird advantage I have is that a lot of Luke's units are they're very cost efficient. They're sort of medium points, whereas I've got some real dirt cheap stuff in the Cultists and Traitor Enforcers that can't reliably be killed by like Spall of Flawless Blades and might force an overcommittal. And equally, I've got, my Possessed of 30 wounds, so they take a real punch to come and kill. And while the Lord Exaltants, especially when they're super buffed and Lucius can really punch through them, the general lack of damage 3 outside of the Defilers means that I have a durability advantage. So Luke is faster, we both hit pretty hard, we both shoot pretty hard, but I should be able to control the firing lanes a bit easier. And if it ends up in a situation where I have to put something on objective, my units have a slightly better chance of living there than Luke's. So these are the 2 deployments. So Luke's at first. This is actually after I started moving stuff in my turn 1, because I've got to take some pictures at the start. Because with those threats in mind, Luke's Defilers have to be quite defensive. They have to find spots where they are 100% certain my Defilers can't get to. So even though they're faster than mine being on this way back are pretty safe. Otherwise, Luke's got his Spawn and Infractors spread out. Tormentors, as they started to move here, I think, screening out across the backline with Lucius in the middle. Lucius has to respect the threat of Kravik Morn deep striking down and potentially burning him out with a flamer. So it keeps him safe, keeps him in the middle. Otherwise, his Coterie packs don't work. Switching it round to my side. So this is after my first movement. But outside of Cultists, I haven't moved a lot. I've traded guard squad, I've traded Enforcer here that jumps out on, again trying to force an awkward trade for Luke. And then a bit similar to World Eaters, I kind of want to play aggressively but not recklessly, I guess. So I put all of my Possessed, my Defilers in positions where they can come out next turn if they need to, and then use my Reavers more defensively along with my Cultists to provide a physical screen. So if Luke can come out, kill things and charge things, but it's awkward. So he'd have to put his Defiler out somewhere here, to shoot the cultist, where I can jump out and shoot his back, and that would allow him to come and then charge into here, but it's a long charge, so it's trying to force overcommittal. Luke can come through and start doing things, and given that I've gone first, I've got to be a little more aggressive, so I can't just hang off objectives and keep safe. Over on my right flank, my Traitor Guard squad moved up and managed to charge into the Tormentors that were about here at the time. Sadly, they only killed 1 or 2 and they lost their guy back, so Luke was able to stick to the objective early. And these guys move up and they get in a position to start shooting these guys, although I think they actually end up shooting the Owen to death, so the floor space don't have to do it. But they don't end up charging here because of the threat of the possessed heroic again. You see elsewhere, Luke's happy to give this up, which means I stick it, which is really nice. Gives me some primary, but Luke comes over here, so keeps me to a 5, and we're both trying to take it slow. Things. The advantage of disadvantage of going first is while Luke has to call his shot with a number of things he thinks he's going to get for Coterie. With the Tormentors up here, I don't feel I can sort of slow play enough to not get it. I'd rather have these up and give up some Coterie kills, which does mean his army gets online and starts buffing. When I've been Death Guard previously, I've quite often avoided that and just been very, very cagey. But this time I felt with a different army was happy not to. Was more happy giving up the kills and things. So, my turn 2. My cultists move up here. I think a Defiler moved on to take out the Tormentors, or the picture isn't great to show that. Move my cultists up to be aggressive, force the screen. He's got 2 spawn here, so moving 4 cultists here to make sure they can't get it. And again, just trying to force Luke into a trading game where he's losing value on units. And the Traitor Guard that were here moved up to spawn. So we're into Luke's turn 2. Again, we've got it very slow. We're still in Chaff Wars. His spawn come out. There's some more over here. These guys being more aggressive means I can't heroic them, but it has denied Luke's 5 points. The Rhino's an interesting one. Again, it's in a position where his Defiler certainly can come out and get it. But if Luke wants to try and get the content, there's a reactive move available that's not realistically going to come up for the content, but it means that his squad has to sort of pre-commit and be like, cool, we've got a Tormentor squad here with an Ordex Altar, they come out here-ish, they've got a reasonable charge. If he does that, I can come here. If he doesn't do that, then I can just come onto this objective, so I've pre-measured that I can get a dude here, just put them here. And only one of the Defilers crucially can see, so if Luke comes and kills this Defiler, it potentially opens up options for me. So yeah, just a side on view, you see the Defiler hiding off the line there, and various spawn and things coming out. I'd really hope to kill these spawn in my turn, or at least one of them, because one of them is quite likely to whiff into even like cultists and things. But Luke made quite a good few Feel No Pain rolls against my Traitor Enforcer and his Bulgarian Ogre and Bodyguard. So alas, not to be there. So on the flank again, we're still in the Trash Wars phase. Spawn coming out to kill cultists, Flawless Blades come in to take out guys here. Yeah, I was going to say, I can't remember if I Overwatch here or not. I definitely do at some point. I might have Overwatched some Tormentors or something previously. Again, the thread of the Overwatch is nice and just forcing overcommitals from Luke. Yep, cultists charge them spawn. Luke starts to win the Trash Wars. It's not bad for CSM at this stage, but it's starting to get to the stage where we're having to actually force things out with more proper units. So, big moment in the game. I'm running out of trash, and it's like, okay, can I get a blow on anything? This is the picture just after my sort of disembarkation. So, I've got the Chosen here, and I have a look out, and I disembark the Chosen, and I've got options about where I want to put them. So I can either put them over here if I roll low in advance. I could potentially keep them back here and keep them safe on if I decide to. And when I disembark, you see where the 9 inches is, I get a 2. And I look at it and I think, what if I get a 5 or a 6? Then I'm only going to need a 6 or a 7 charge to this Defiler. So I speculatively burn a reroll. Neither of us have used a CP at this stage, other than maybe upping a pledge from Luke. So I've got a few in the bank, and I think, if I get a 5 here, 7 inch charge with a reroll, if I take out the Defiler, I'm pretty sure I just win the game. So I reroll the advance, I get a 6, and I only need a 6 inch charge to get to Luke's Defiler. Sadly, not yet, as I line up to get in, I fail the 6 inch charge even with the reroll. So this squad are suddenly in the open. I've got this big expensive unit here. That's just vulnerable and then problems. And you can see, so this is Luke's turn, he starts lining up his response. So rest of my turn, I just kill the spawn things. I move the Defiler up here so it can come and pick these out. I'm hoping to take out this Defiler. If it does, this Defiler is safe in return. The Rhino and the Reavers here are blocking the Mauler Fiend from getting here, so as long as I make this charge, Luke's in a really tough spot, but I fail. Luke's then gets worried about the reactive move, so he decides his answer is to keep these guys still. I put up the Rhino with my Defiler, and then use his 2 Defilers to shoot these guys off. I also have a really bad moment that the 3 Flawless Blades that were over here, my Defiler fails to kill them. It leaves only one alive. It leaves one alive. Luke burns a CP to auto-part it, so suddenly I've whiffed both on damage, and I've given Luke a 10 on primary. So Luke is ahead, and he's got end of game scoring in his favour. So I really start to feel the pressure. So yeah, Luke measuring up where he can get to without triggering the reactive moves again. And yeah, so this is the Defiler. It moved back, trying to stay safe. Maybe one Defiler can come up and get a shot at it and hit, which means the lone op strat is much less interesting. But yes, struggle for CSM at the stage. Luke is not massively ahead. It's sort of 5-10 points-ish. But with the end of game scoring, I'm now starting to feel the pressure. Both of them are scoring and respected. As I said, I do at least wipe out the rest of the trash of the spawn ice thing, and my 2 possessed squads are safe, but it's certainly not feeling the most confident at this stage. So, yes, Luke's Defiler moves over here, shoots these guys off, along with the Defiler and the Mauler Fiend that's here. The one advantage of having the reactive move is like nothing moves close, so nothing comes to threaten here. So Luke's able to defend his lines and score some things, but he's not able to put any pressure on my side of the table. He does take out these guys for free, which is a real shame. So I'm feeling the pressure, and I just decide to full send, which is my normal in case of doubt solution. And yeah, I've been trying to play it slow, trying to play it control-y, and I've just lost the ability to do so at this stage where we're on to plan B. So Defilers come out, and given I'm sending and Luke doesn't have any deep strike, I think this is literally my entire army in this midsection of the board. Have nothing behind the wall, nothing on my home, although I have stickied it. Morn did rapid ingress here. It was not an option when he could come down to give me another asset in the middle. And Luke had screened out his backfield, so I couldn't do much there. I moved Cypher up, partly to come and get on this objective, partly just to get his Vector up around here, because I'm worried about an Overwatch or an Arm of Contempt and a Feel No Pain on this Defiler to cause mine to bounce. Worried about the Heroic from Lucius, worried about like going in with an Arm of Contempt or a Feel No Pain. So Cypher just comes up and goes, cool, you've got 2 CP, you're doing one of those things and you're not doing anything else. Luke goes for, I can't remember if it's an Armour of Contempt or a Feel No Pain on the Defiler. I think it's an Armour of Contempt. But thankfully my one goes all in and takes out his Defiler, which is very handy. Able to shoot off this Defiler without too many problems. does cause this sort of annoying U-shaped formation from my possessed, and yeah, but it's taken out. I'm able to get the charge off here, and then I've got all of my guys sort of in this sort of section of the board, pressurising Luke's side of the table. He does have Lord Exalted Squad, Lucius, and a Defiler, but I've got to force the issue now to try and get things going. So yeah, reverse shot on the side of the table. This is before I start shooting. I do want to shoot these guys, but they're just not. I shot them a little bit with Huron Squad. Annoyingly, the Psycho left this Lord Exalted on 1 wound. And this Mauler Fiend becomes a little bit of a problem. I don't want to really put anything into it, so I decided to charge it with another Defiler. It is up against the wall. I'm aware that it is annoyingly hard to kill, and I don't want it to be able to fall back and like charge things. So I chuck all my Reavers at it. I chuck a Rhino. I chuck a Defiler at it. The Fiend is then given a choice of does it want to try and kill these guys to have a chance to control the objective, but it does need to kill all of them. And then we've got the Rhino and the Defiler still there. If it doesn't kill all of them, then the Defiler gets to swing first in combat next turn. In the end, so it decides to go for the Defiler. It takes out a good chunk of it, but doesn't kill it from memory, although it does do a pretty hefty chunk of damage. So yeah, in the middle, able to get into one of the Lord Exalted squads and possess, just butcher it quite comfortably. So Emperor's Children turn, they've stung CSMs. CSM have gone full in, so now we're into let's just smash great big giant monster robots at each other and see what happens. So his Defiler comes up, finishes off my Defiler, shoots all his little venom crawler guns into thing there, and he might even choose plasma as well, and takes out Morn and the Defiler. So I'm losing control of this flank. I've got a lot of possessed here and some back here, but Luke runs up and starts to butcher them pretty imminently. So yes, shoots them up a bit with this Tormentor squad. These guys come out and charge possessed. It's one of the things that if you haven't been charged by this squad before, it's like, oh, it's only 5 damage 2 attacks and a bunch of damage 1 attacks, and then you put in the, like, at this stage it's crits and sustains and lethals and rerolls, and then this guy gets extra attacks and lance and blah 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 blah, and it just turns them from a squad that doesn't sound that scary into one that absolutely butchers things. So even with possessed being T6 3 wounds, they kill 9 of them. I fight on death to kill a couple of them to try and take the sting out. Don't have to put quite so much into them next turn. I keep 1 alive. I keep the one next to Lucius, so Lucius can't then pile in and kill Cypher, and he rather unsurprisingly dies. So yes, lose quite a lot of points, but now everything's good. Everything's sort of in the open, and I've still got 1 possessed brick, 1 Defiler, and with a combination of I hold this objective still, I hold this objective, I hold this objective, I hold this objective. Oh, actually, I think we're tied for this objective and this objective, so I get a hold more, which is really nice because Luke's going to get Luke could very easily get a hold more at the end. So the fact that I've sort of got one of those in the bank now, and presumably going to limit it in this turn, sort of evens up the score. So I will stay on the screen because my next turn I don't have a great picture of. This Defiler comes up here, shoots Lucius. These possessed come here, murder all this stuff. I get storm hostile objective. One of these guys is able to get here and then charge around to here and then consolidate on there. We are in turn 5, so we're just trying to take out as many assets of Luke's as possible to try and limit to where he can be in the last turn. And this is Luke's turn, so I've got one of these guys here. He just sits here to make sure that this Mauler Fiend can't go away. He's 3 OC at this stage, so the Mauler Fiend does have to come here and kill him. Luke's last Defiler comes out. He blows away this Defiler. My Defiler does Overwatch and do 11 damage to him. This Defiler puts his little Venom Crawler cannons into Cypher. Cypher lives. And then Cypher shoots back and almost kills the Defiler. He leaves him on 1 wound remaining. So Luke then looks at the situation, realises he's got tempting target and things. And so he, not tempting target, display of might, and he can't afford to lose this Defiler. So he elects not to charge Cypher. He almost certainly does kill Cypher, but if he kills him, he gets no benefit at this stage, and if Cypher kills him, then it's a little bit of a blow. So, yep, you can see possessed on my objective. So Luke's not able to get a hold more. This is turn 5. Cypher's alive, just clinging to life, and it means Luke's only going to get a hold 2. So CSM take the win. It was a 71-62 game, with the real difference being on my go turn on turn 4. I scored 13 points in total. I got defend and 10 points in primary, whereas Luke was only able to score 1. I was able to nail him on primary, and he got 1 for engage on all fronts, and he wasn't able to storm. So the Luke ends up with more points on the field, so he's got 350 to my. Actually, it's about the same amounts on the field, but the fact that we kept denying his primary, other than the 1 turn here and right at the end, which you couldn't really stop, resulted in a really hard fought but really satisfying win for CSM, where I really felt panicked when these guys failed their charge and used it with the reroll as well. But it felt like, cool, if I get it, I win, and had thankfully just about enough in the tank to secure the win without it.